and welcome back to Let's Talk Chicago Bears. It's Friday, and I know all you working stiffs are happy about that. And I'm kind of happy about it because that means football. Tomorrow, college, and Sunday, pro. This girl loves her football. Yes, sirree. So we're going to talk about the Dallas game coming up on Sunday. And, we're coming off that wonderful win on Monday night. And I just want to see more of the same. I don't give I love the Bears, and I want the Bears to win every week. Do not get me wrong. But I'm not sure that they're going to win this game. But they proved Monday that anything can happen, right? So, it's... The thing is, they got to come back and play this week like they did on Monday night. Air-free football on all aspects. That's what they did Monday night. I mean, they just, all three aspects, offense, defense, and special teams, were really good. So let's hope that they bring their A game again, okay? So let's talk a little bit about Dallas and the Bears. Well, the Bears are 3-4, and Dallas are 5-2. The two teams have met 27 times, including two postseason games. And unfortunately, like it's been going all year, you're going to get that this has pretty much been the theme. Chicago has won 12 out of those games, and the Cowboys have won 15. So another team that's beaten us. That just shows you how rough our last 20 years have been. Excuse me, I apologize for that. So let's talk about the game. So it's in Texas, so that's going to be tough because it's another stadium that's hard to beat a team in. Like when we were in New England, it's always hard to win in New England. This is going to be the case with this game. It is pretty hard to beat them in Dallas, but it can happen, people. It can happen. So let's compare the teams, okay? So team-wise, the Bears are still dead last in pass. They average about 126 yards a game. Now that's an average because people are saying, well, wait a minute, he had 179 on Monday. Well, they averaged all the games. So we're dead last. We're 32nd. Dallas is actually kind of surprising. I'm surprised, although D.Prescott was out for, gosh, I don't know how many games did he play. He was out 2 games. I thought he was out more than 2 games. I'm thinking 2. Well, I'm going to say 2 right now. So this could be why their numbers, I was really kind of surprised. So their average is 183 yards a game, so that ranks them 27th in the league. Rushing, the Bears right now sit at number 1, baby, and they're averaging 181 yards a game. If the Bears, they had 2 this game and the last game. They had over 200 yards each, and they haven't done that. Last time the Bears had 2 back-to-back games where they were over 200 yards rushing, 1985 Bears, baby. So we got to keep that up because the fact that they're rushing the ball with Montgomery and Herbert like this is awesome because it helps everything on the team. It helps the offense. It helps the quarterback. It helps our defense. Because it keeps the defense off the field, and you're wearing down their defense, which is really important because if you can keep a rush game like ours going, you wear down by the time they're in the fourth quarter, the defenses are exhausted because you've been running all over them. So we've seen that because the Bears can't stop the run. So, although last week they held the team to 70 yards, shockingly, mostly because I think in the second half they didn't run New England as much as they usually do because they were behind. So, but Bears, this is awesome. Let's keep this up. Let's have another huge rush game on Sunday. Dallas it's not terrible. They're averaging 121 yards a game. That ranks them 14th in the league, and Zeko Elliott. We're going to talk about him in a little bit. So he's on this team. I was a little surprised. I thought that they'd be higher, closer to us, but they're still over. They're still averaging over 100 yards a game, which is a good thing. So we're beating them there. They're beating us in pass. So that evens everything out. And then everything else is pretty close. Points scored is another surprising thing I saw. That we're scoring an average of 18 a game, which puts us 24th in the league. They're averaging 19 points a game, and they're 22nd in the league. So we're right there. Another surprise because I thought they scored a lot, but again, Prescott was out, their quarterback, for several games. So Cooper Rush was their quarterback at the time, the backup. But still. So we're very even there, and then points allowed. Your defense is allowed. We're averaging 18 a game. That puts us 25th, and they're allowing 14 points a game, and that puts their defense at second. So they got a really, really good defense. We're going to talk about that in a bit. But yeah, so they're second. So they don't give up a lot of points, and for a team. Except for on Monday night, doesn't score a lot of points. Something's got to give here, and I really hope it gives in the Chicago way, but I don't know. We'll see. So it'll be interesting because you're going up a defense that doesn't give up points and an offense that can't score them. So it'll be interesting. So let's talk about the individuals. Fields. We know. Not great numbers as far as passing. He's got 1,048 yards passing, and he's got 364 yards rushing. He's been sacked 27 times. Yeah, you heard me. 27 times. That's insane. Just insane. And it's going to be a problem, as you're going to find out in a few more minutes. Why that's going to be a big issue. He's got 5 touchdowns and 6 interceptions. Again, he's got to flip that narrative. He's got to have more touchdowns than interceptions. You just have to. So we got to get to Fields to flip that narrative and get some more touchdowns. Dak Prescott is their quarterback. He was out 2 games, as I said. So his passing yards are 341 right now because he hasn't played. I think he was out more than 2 games. I swear to God, I thought it was 4 games. I think it was 4 games. Wait a minute. So what is this? Week 8, right? So, okay, yeah. That makes sense. Then, yes, he's played. It'll be his 3rd game this season. Makes sense, and I'm right. See, pickled. So he has 341 yards passing, and he has 11 yards rushing. But again, he's played only 2 games this season. So those numbers are, not really where they should be for Prescott. They'll be higher, and he's a good quarterback. So he's going to be launching it all over the field. He's going to be testing our backfield, and if they keep playing the way they are, go ahead and test it, because these kids in the backfield, I shouldn't call them, well, they are all kids compared to me. I'm an old lady. They're going to have to really watch out because he is going to be slinging that ball. Dak has been sacked 7 times. He's got 5 touchdowns and 3 interceptions. So, those aren't great numbers. But again, played 2 games. But, the 5-3 isn't spectacular. So that means he's going to throw an interception, guys. Number 6 and number 9, Gordon and Brisker. Be prepared, right? On. Okay, so the Bears in rushing, the number 24, Herbert, is leading the team. Mostly because David was out 1 game. Remember, he missed a game. So Herbert, number 24, has 464 yards. And David Montgomery, number 32, has 308 yards. I want to see those go up. So now the rushing for Dallas is, you're going to see very comparable to us. They're right there, the same. Ezekiel Elliott has 443 yards rushing, and their backup Pollock has 375. When I say backup, just like Herbert and Montgomery, these two are a dual team, Elliott and Pollock. They just go in and out for each other. So very, very good running team, as we've talked about. So it's going to be interesting to see who has the better ground game on Sunday, and let's hope it's the Bears. Bears. Okay, and then so the passing, our numbers are not going to compare to theirs. We know that. So Mr. Mooney, he has 294. Second up is St. Brown. He has 158. Our tight end Komet has 148 yards, and Pettis has 137 yards receiving. Not spectacular, but that's what it is right now. Because, and if Justin starts to get his groove going, their numbers are going to go up. And I'd like to see Harry, who started his first game last week, get some more touches. He only had one catch last week, and I'd really like to see him get involved in the game. I think he can really help them, and he might be able to help. I think he could probably help them really well down at the goal line, because he can go up and he can catch it over the defenders. He's kind of one of those guys. That's what we went and got him for, but he's been hurt. So, but let's see if on Sunday, this will be his second game back. Let's see if we can get Harry into the groove and start getting him more and more passes. So the receivers for Dallas, C.D. Lamb has 479 yards. Next guy up is Brown with 339 yards, and then Schultz has 129 yards. These are just the top guys. So it'll be interesting to see what happens there. Then we start to talk about the defenses. This is where I'm going to... so the Bears have 12 sacks. They have 8 interceptions. Awesome. Keep it up, guys. Let's get into double digits this weekend. How about that? That's what I'm saying. Let's get in double digits. So there's 8 interceptions. There's 11 fumbles, and they've recovered 4 of them. Now, I've talked about this ratio before. It's great that they've got the 11 fumbles, but they've only recovered 4 of them. And if you're going to cause a fumble, damn it, you better recover it, because it really does you no good. I mean, the only thing it might do is lose them yards. Sometimes it doesn't, but we got to get that ratio a little bit closer, the recovery. This is where the Bears are going to have a real problem on Sunday. Their defense has 29 sacks. And I told you Fields was sacked 27 times. So do the math. That is just not good. Our offensive line has got... This is probably one of the best defensive guys they faced all year by numbers. I mean, 29. Oh, my God. Fields must be having nightmares about this. I mean, when I saw that, I started having nightmares. I swear to God. So I don't know. They did fairly well on Monday night. He was only sacked 4 times, and it's really sad to say that. But at least two of them were on Justin. So, but we were playing New England, although they have a very good defense, but our line did hold up, considering that Lucas Patrick went out in the middle of the first quarter. So, we're going to talk about him in a minute, but and he will not be. He's on IR. He was officially put on IR, so he is not going to be playing. We won't see him probably the rest of the year. Boy, what a big bust that was. Anyways, they have 7 interceptions, Dallas. They have 7 fumbles, and they've recovered 5 of those. So, they get turnovers too. The biggest concern is those 29 sacks. I mean, that scares the shit out of me. I will not lie, okay? So those are the stats. I always give those on Fridays. They're, Dallas isn't blowing us out of the water, but, the biggest concern is is their defense. They have a very, very good defense. So our offensive line is going to have their hands full. So we were talking about Lucas Patrick, our center, who we signed in the offseason, and to me, it has turned out to be a terrible signing. Of course, it's not really Bears. You never know that because he's been hurt. I mean, when he was in that game on Monday night at center where he belonged, and then Schofield, I think that's his name, he was was playing left guard where Patrick was playing, and Mustafa was playing center. Now, Mustafa was on the bench, thank God, for part of that game, but that didn't last long, as we know. But when Patrick was at center, and we had Schofield playing left guard, and then we had everybody else in there who's been playing, the first quarter, I will say, as you noticed, the line, they did a pretty good job because several times they did it. They just kind of came around, the guys were coming, and they came around with them, and they gave Justin that time. They looked better. Not great, but better with him in there, and then he gets hurt again. The Bears signed him in free agency, and he has been nothing but hurt since we got him. I don't know what our problem is with offensive linemen, but we do, since the 80s when we had an offensive line that rocked, we haven't really had a solid one. Really good ones. We've gotten by here and there, but we really have not. And so that's something that Poles has got to work on in the offseason. Draft-wise, free agent signing, I don't care, but you have got to protect Justin Fields. The line is good at run blocking. We know that because we're first in the league. We have good running backs, but if your line doesn't open up the holes, you're not going to get runs. So they're good at that. They're just terrible at the pass. And it starts with our center. So Mustafa is going to be back in there again at center, and he's just awful. And did I mention this on Monday show? I don't know, but I was thinking about it, and I was like, didn't the Bears, my memory not the greatest, again, old and pickled, I was sure that they drafted a center, and it turns out they did. And gosh, his name is going to elude me right now. I can't remember. But anyways, he's on IR, and we did draft him, and he's from Illinois, but he's been on injured reserve. So it's like, what the hell? So who knows when he's going to come back, So, but you don't hear anything. I don't hear anybody talking about him. So it's just like, it's so frustrating, right? So we'll see. So, Lucas Patrick. Anyways, okay, so injuries-wise, now I'm doing the show a little early on Friday, and the injury report for Friday hasn't come out, but the Bears are pretty clean. I don't think they're going to have anybody on their injury report, and the notable one right now for Dallas is Ezekiel Elliott. He has not practiced the last 2 days, and they're saying they don't think he's going to play on Sunday, which would be a huge bonus for the Bears. I mean, Pollock is good. Like I said, he had 375 yards, but Elliott is good too. So if we can get him out of the game, that's one less problem we got, because we know the Bears can't stop the run. The defensive line is just, I don't know. Which brings me up to Quinn. People, I know there's probably a lot of, I don't know how people feel about the trade that happened on Wednesday. The Bears traded Quinn to Philadelphia. Bears did Quinn a big solid because he's going to a playoff team. They're, barring any injuries or anything like that, I see Philadelphia, they could be in the Super Bowl. I mean, I could see, it's still early, it's only week 8, I could see this Super Bowl, Bills and Philadelphia. That's what I could see. That's right now. Now, we have a lot more games to go. So Quinn's gone. I don't know. Some people like it, some people don't. We didn't get much production out of him this year. He had 18.5 sacks last year. He's got 1. He had 1. And I know Mac's gone. That has a lot to do with it. And somebody brought up, and I totally agree with him on this, one of my great viewers, he said another reason is Hicks is not on the team anymore, and Hicks always got double covered when he was healthy and in there. I'm a big Hicks fan. I was bummed when he left, but I get it. It was, financial. Was always hurt the last few years, which really sucked. And actually, he's in Tampa Bay right now, and he's hurt again. But we miss him, and that's one of the reasons they can't stop the run either, because he was really good on the run defense. Very good when he was in. He was just awesome. So, but Quinn, I think it's a good trade. He's 32 years old. He's on the other end of his career. We got another draft pick, so now we have 7 draft picks so far going into next year's this coming draft in 2023. And we get rid of the salary, and we'll bring up another guy, a young guy. We got to see what these young guys have, because the defensive line, to me, is one of the bigger problems on the defense. The backfield, I'm not worried about them. I believe, Eddie Jackson, Jalen Johnson, you got Gordon now, number 6, and the rookie, and the other rookie, Brisker, number 9. You've got a solid backfield. Now, those 2 youngsters I talked about, 6 and 9, they're going to still make a few mistakes here and there, but they're just getting better and better each week, and that is just huge for us. So, but our defensive line, I'm worried about that. I really am. I really am, because they can't stop the run, and so getting rid of Quinn, he really wasn't making much of an impact. He wasn't. And not all his fault, because there's not the guys, Mack is gone and Hicks is gone. So I think it was a good trade. I'm sorry. And I don't want him to trade anybody else. And there's one thing, Bears, you better listen to me and hear this loud and clear. Do not break up the duo of Montgomery and Herbert. They are freaking awesome, and you need to keep those running backs on the Bears, because it's only going to get better and better for the offense if you got a running game week in and week out that can come and get 100+ yards. 200 in a couple games cases, right? We really can, and I can't stress that enough. So it's very important. But so Quinn's gone. We got to work on the defensive line. But we'll see. Bring another youngster up. Let's see what we got. We don't know what we got until we play them. So, and that's what this year is all about. We all know it, like it or not. It is a rebuild, and they're going with youth. They're starting youth, and I got no problems with that. There's no point in, if you're just, yes, as long as you're getting good youth, right? So that's pretty much that on the game. We're going to see. The Bears could win. I mean, anybody can be beaten on any given Sunday. I preach that all the time. And I know let's do my top 3s. So every week I do this before the game. 5, my top 3s are penalties, time of possession, and turnovers. Penalties, you got to have 5 or less, in my opinion, to have a chance. So you want 5 or less penalties. They had 4 last week. Time of possession, huge, so important, because I say this every week. It keeps your offense on the field. It keeps their defense on the field. You want to wear them down. It keeps our defense off the field so they're not tired, and it keeps their offense off the field. So, and the Bears won that last week handily on Monday night. It was great. And then the turnovers, if you can get a couple turnovers, at least 2 turnovers a game. So if you can win these 3, the penalty battle, time of possession, and turnovers, you have a very good chance. You're in the game if you've done these 3, or at least 2 out of 3, if not win the game. Last week they won all 3 of them, and because we know they had 4 turnovers too. So huge. I can't stress enough about turnovers, too, the benefit of turnovers. It just helps everybody. So I'd like to see some more turnovers getting in there, especially number 6, Gordon, and number 9, Brisker. I liking that, those 2 a lot. They're going to be with the Bears a long time, because remember, they are rookies. And I just see them getting better and better. So we got to win the 3s, my 3s, to win this game. They've got to play like they did Monday night. Bottom line, air-free football. Now, New England didn't see us coming. Everybody's, took the Bears for granted because especially after that horrible Thursday night game where they lost 12-7. I mean, seriously, I'm still pissed about that game. But after the Monday night game, I don't think Dallas is going to take us for granted. I think they're going to take a pretty hard look at the Bears and say, okay, we got to be, on our game. And they will be. They're at home. They got one of the best defenses in the league. So it's going to be tough. But the Bears have to play air-free like they did Monday night. I'll see. And again, I want to win. I do. I want to win out of that. But the bottom line is we're not going to go anywhere this year. But I want improvement. So I want improvement from Monday night's game because there were things that could have been improved. And I didn't really, on my show Tuesday, I kind of stayed a little light, because I didn't want to pick out, there was some bad things that happened, but I didn't want to pick them out because it was such a positive game. So, but this game, I don't know, people. I really don't have a feel for what's going to happen because, you know what, going into Monday night game, everybody was just like, yeah, what the hell, we're going to suck again. So we're not sure what we're going to see, but I'm sure that Coach Flus has got these guys focused, Okay, he said the other day on one of his press conferences that, you can enjoy the success, but you got to move on. You got to say, okay, I did that. But what can I do today better? Right? So that's what he's good about that. He's like, okay, enjoy the win. You got your 24 hours, guys, and then we're starting all over again, and let's keep on proving. Okay, let's keep on making some of these things, less sacks for Justin, trying to protect him. The defensive line, stopping the run. So, because they, like I said, they did play very well on Monday night. So, we'll see what happens there, right? I'll be curious to see. I'm hoping the Bears win. I would take a win by 1 point, but it's going to be awfully tough, So, we'll have to see. That's all I got, my friends. So, what else? I was going to... Oh, that was the other thing. When I sang the song on Tuesday, I was like, and then I got to thinking, that the Bears touchdown song is really awful. So, so I'll say this again. If the Bears win, I'll sing it again, even though it's awful. But I am going to write my buddy, George McCaskey, because we're pen pals. And I'm going to tell him, can you commission somebody to write a better song? It is an old song from 1941. And it doesn't even make, it doesn't flow. And it doesn't really make a whole lot of sense. It doesn't flow. I don't know. I don't know about you people, but I don't like the touchdown song. Does anybody like that song out there? Just let me know, okay? They say the national anthem's hard to sing. No, the Bears touch song's harder to sing. Song. So anyways, let's see. We'll see on Monday when I see ya. What happened? We'll talk about it. The game is at noon Central Time, 10 a.m. in Vegas time, baby. And we'll see. And I wanted to mention this at the top of the show, but I don't want to get distracted. I just want to thank all my viewers. I made it to 300. 300. I know, kind of a loser because having 300 subscribers is making me happy. Actually, I have 304 as of today. Thank you so much. But hey, this lady 3 years ago started this in her house because, I was bored. The pandemic was happening, and I love to talk, and I love the Chicago Bears. So I'm like, why not give it a try? And I just started getting momentum. So 300 subscribers is really cool. Now my next goal is 400. Let's hope I'll get to that. So that's my next goal. So I just want to thank anybody all of you who subscribes to me and got me to my goal. So you guys rock. Thank you so much. I mean, I do appreciate it. I really do. So let's just keep on going. And you can also catch me. I do another show. So I do 2 shows of my own, Mondays and Fridays, or Tuesdays and Fridays, depends on when the Bears play, on Sunday or Monday. And then on Wednesday nights, I do a podcast with my buddy, Dan. And he is in Atlanta. I'm in Vegas. And we both, he's 20 years younger than me, about. And when we got together a few weeks back, we started talking to each other. We ended up living like right next door to each other back home in Illinois his whole life, because I lived in Lake County for 33 years, I think, something like that. And he lived there too. He grew up as a kid. He worked at this one restaurant that this great place called Sammy's that we went to all the time to get beefs. So it's just, so anyways, we do a podcast. And the tag name of his podcast is Bears Country Podcast. And the show title is The Lowdown. Well, there's 2 titles. Sometimes it's called The Lowdown with Lynn Hayden, yours truly, or we call it The Lowdown with Dan and Lynn. So check us out. We did a live show last night, actually, because we couldn't do it Wednesday. Long story. So we did one last night. It was the first time I've ever done a live show, and I didn't get the whole concept of it. It was pretty funny. I didn't realize that people were writing at the bottom of the screen. Halfway through it, where I'm like, what is that? Dan, I think he would laugh so hard after the show when we were talking about it. I'm like, I didn't realize they were asking us questions. I'd never done a live show before. So we laughed so hard. I think he was going to pee in his pants. I really do. And I think next Wednesday we're going to do a live show too, but you can see it because we just do it live. And if people want to come on and ask questions, they can. We generally do it at 5:30 Eastern Time, 4:30 Central Time, 2:30 Vegas time. So check us out. And if you can't catch it live, you can catch the recording. We do it. We have a blast. And we just talk Bears, and it is a lot of fun. So check that show out, too. And Dan has other podcasts, too. So tag name again, Bears Country Podcast. The title, The Lowdown with Lynn Hayden. I know. Who would think that this lady would have 2 shows? So on that note, I want to thank you all again for watching. I always end my show the same way. Be kind. Love one another. Stop hate. Help people out if they need it. And smile. Smile, smile, smile. Smile. Somebody's calling me. I apologize. Don't people know I'm doing a show, for crying out loud? But yes. See, I'm telling you to smile and I'm bitching about the phone. So smile and be happy, because we're Bears fans and we are the best in the nation. Are we not? Yes, we are. Rock on. So I love you guys. Go Bears. I'll see you Monday. And as always, keep on rocking and rolling from Vegas, baby. Bye-bye.